Ace interact on a chair. I don't know. I can't even ace interact on it. Yeah. There you go.
Sorry, Sergeant. I was waiting for you to say something. Sit down or something.
All right. Sergeant Smith, do you have control of the slides?
Oh, you're able to control it through the tablet.
Never works for me. Aha. Oh, 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 there we go. We're good. So, a little bit of land now. We're not going to go crazy on it. That'll take the whole fucking day. Alright, so on your map, you have horizontal and vertical lines. That's what makes up a grid line. The horizontal is your easting, and your vertical is referred to as northing. Pretty straightforward there. Alright, so everybody open your maps. Just keep at where it's at right now when it opens up. So right now, we're looking over the air base area. You should see a big green rectangle. If you back out by using a scroll wheel, that is 10,000 meter grid squares. The huge, big old grid squares when you can see the entire island. That's really not worth anything. Now, when you scroll in and you have 2 digits top and bottom and left and right, you are now at 1,000 meters squared. Each one of those grids is 1,000 meters or a click. Now, not really useful except for getting somebody or a group of individuals location on the map. Get them all focused on one area of the map.
User disconnected.
That's about all it's good for. Generalization. Now, if we keep scrolling in, and you can see right at the point that the 1,000 meter grid square will turn into a 100 meter grid square. And let me just put this on for you real quick. Oh. Change where it's at. Make sure y'all in side channel. So right now what I'm marking out in the 4 red dots is your 1,000 meter grid right now. You got, so you can see what they did to make your 1,000 meter grid square go into a 100 meter grid square. I am going to put some numbers down for you real quick. And I am only going to put one number here because it does the exact same thing up, bottom, top, left to right. Or left to right, bottom, top. So, if you scroll out just a hair, you'll see you'll go from a 100-meter grid square to 1,000-meter. So you'll go back to where you'll see 2 digits, top and bottom, left and right. So the way they got or broke down the 1,000-meter grid square into 100 is by breaking it into tenths. That's where the numbers I put down come from. But we don't need to know that because they already give us what grid squares are what for a 100-meter grid square, because they give us a 6-digit grid. You got fucking 3 numbers, top and bottom, and left and right. So that will give us a 6-digit grid ref, which is good for 100 meters. A 4-digit grid ref is good for 1,000 meters. So 90% of the time, a 6-digit grid ref is more than adequate for what we need. But since I have you in a class, I might as well teach you how to get an 8-digit. So it is not much different than what they did to get the 100-meter from 1,000. All you're doing is going from 100 to 10. So let's say this radio tower here was of vital importance and we had to call an air asset or fucking 11 Charlie to take it out, and we needed to be pretty accurate with it. So let's zoom in to where we can see this grid. Now I'm just gonna kind of wing it here since I don't have my map tools. So we need to find the 8-digit to call in a fucking strike on it. Because obviously if we call the strike in using a fucking 6-digit grid ref, the fucking mortars or the air can come in and drop anywhere in this fucking little area. Well, in this side, this grid square, which is not fucking effective. They would have to bomb the shit out of this just to get to that one area. So we know that this grid is grid ref 143161. So we know this giant grid, this 100 meters square, is grid ref 143161. Now we need to find the 4th number and the 8th number. In order to do that, we need to find the 4th number first. So we're looking at 143. So we always go left to right, bottom to top. So if we imagine this line here moving over to the 3rd spot, so that would give us, that's our 4th number right there. So if we took this grid line and moved it over by tenths until we got where we wanted to go, it would fall out on number 3. So that's our 4th number right there. So it'd be 1433. Now we need to find our 8th number. We'll do the same with the bottom, because you always go left to right, bottom to top when you're reading. So we're taking this bottom line and we're going to move it up till we get where we need to go. You know, so obviously sometimes it falls out in between, not a big problem. just go to the nearest. So obviously it's closer to 9, and that will be our 8th number. So it is 1619 is the second half of our 8-digit grid. And that would put us in a fucking, not the best of a fucking square, but it would put us in something like that. Maybe a little off center, but a square that big instead of a fucking space this big. So it's much more efficient. Does anybody have a question on how to find that?
Negative, Sergeant.
No, Sergeant.
Negative, Sergeant.
All right. So I'm not gonna look for fucking absolute perfection, because we don't have forever for you to do it. But I want you to give me your best 8-digit grid ref. Because if you can give me an 8-digit, I know you can give me a fucking 6. So we're just gonna bypass that. So Private Mitchell, I want you to fucking look from where the radio tower is, 200 meters west and 50 meters north, and you'll see this flight training area.
Got it,
Got it.
Sergeant.
I want you to give me the 8-digit grid ref of this black dot.
Approximately 1415 by 1629.
Negative.
Oh, apologies, Sergeant. I see where my mistake was. 1415 by 1625.
Correct. Yeah, I'll accept that. That would easily put a good round within that area. All right, Private O'Halloran, I want you to give me the next black dot in that location.
Roger, Sergeant. One 162.7 by 141.7, Sergeant.
Negative. You got it backwards. Remember, you want to start left or right, bottom and top.
Oh, correct. 141.7 by 162.7, Sergeant.
Yeah, it's close. It would really be.
Closer to 8.
Yeah, it would be like 141. Well, it would be like 1419, 1628. You know, you might have dropped it up here, but that was close. All right. Private Schultz, let's get you one here. Go up north 300 meters, and this gas station symbol here. Give me an 8-digit grid ref.
Roger, Sergeant. Sergeant, the grid ref would be 14171655.
Yeah, I'll take that. All right, good job. Like I said, a 6-digit will 90% mostly do for calling out a location, but we do land nav once you get billeted in your squad. especially when new PV2s enter. At that point, the only thing you'll have to use for navigation will be your compass, your binos, and a map, and your battle buddy, and you got to get from point A to point B. But before you get to point A, you got to find your location on the map because you get randomly dropped somewheres. So our next part is something that hopefully you can, with time, understand terrain, features, the contour lines on a topographical map, and kind of see how the terrain is flowing on the map and compare that to what you're seeing on the ground. Because that's the only way you're really going to find out where you're at to get to point A, then go to point B, is reading the terrain and terrain features. So it's fun. A lot of people hate it, but I think it's fun. All right. Moving on. So map colors, gentlemen. Gray is man-made features. Blue, obviously water. Brown is relief features. That's also your terrain, contour lines. Green is vegetation with military significance. Red is railroads. Also red is also terrain features, as in contour lines. Black, grid lines and or power lines. Thick orange lines are MSRs, or main supply routes. That's paved roads. Then you have medium, thick yellow lines, which is ASRs, or alternate supply routes. They are dirt roads, but they are paved nicely, kind of like what you're standing on right now. Last but not least is hollow lines. They are your quintessential backwoods roads, fucking dirt roads with ruts, with grass growing on either side of them. So that is that for that part. Pretty self-explanatory. Alright, so contour lines. You got intermediate and you have index. I'm going to show you the difference between the two. Let's move to my favorite spot. Actually, we're going to go somewhere else different. Change it up. Let's see. Let's start in grid ref 107150. You'd see Hilltop 121. Call out when you're there.
I'm there, Sergeant.
I'm there, Sergeant.
Grid ref 107150.
Yeah, I've just had a technical problem. My game just crashed.
Alright. Just listen until you get back in.
Will do, Sergeant.
Alright, so I'm going to start off with elevation markers. So these numbers that you see all over the map, that is not randomized numbers. That is the elevation of that terrain above sea level. So right here, that hilltop is 121 meters above sea level. You got a little plateau here. That's 116 meters above sea level. So we know that this red line here is the end of elevation. So it's 121 meters above sea level. Now, depending on how far you scroll in, like right now, my contour interval is at 1 meters. So I know from this red line to this brown line is 1 meters. So between this red line and this red line is 5 meters difference in elevation change. So once you get that established, you can quickly find out what your elevation is by just using the red lines.
I'm good, Sergeant.
Excellent. So we know this is 121 meters, and your next one will be 116, 111, and so forth and so forth. So it's just a neat little way to understand the steepness of the terrain. But just a simpler way to see that is just seeing how tightly packed the rings are. Will accurately gauge the steepness. So this is a pretty steep hillside going from the valley up to the hilltop. So the reason why you need to watch that is because obviously stamina, wearing your guys out. Also engagement. If you're getting engaged going up a steep hill, you can't do anything but hopefully find cover. Usually you're not going to find cover on the side of a fucking hillside. And the fact that you can't run, you're going to be walking wherever you're going, either up or down. So just take that into account when you're in movement. Alright, so we're going to go over some major minor terrain features and just a brief positive negative about it in a combat situation. Oh my god, this thing is fucking on my nerves. Here we go. Alright, so first one is going to be a fucking hilltop. So we're just going to go back to what we were looking at. Hilltop. Why is this thing? Hilltop 121. So, obviously, you feel safer on a hilltop. You know, king of the hill. It gets you good eyes out, but you gotta watch. If you're up there, get up there, do your business, and get down. Especially if we're overlooking an area. Say you're on Hilltop 121 and you're overlooking whatever town is hidden under this red stripe. Well, you got to be careful. You don't want to get so close to the edge when you're fucking getting recon out on that town, because then you'll skyline. Fucking kneeling, standing. Enemy can see you a good click away. No, excuse me, a good click away when you're skylining. A dark object against a light background, it's very noticeable. So if you do, crawl to the edge, go prone, crawl to the edge, pull your binos out, your rifle, look down in scope, do what you need to do. Make sure you got 360 security, because obviously, depending on how steep it is and how much hilltop area you have, you might not see the enemies come up. So keep 3-6 security up there. Now, yes, it's good for getting eyes out, getting recon done. Just don't get caught up there. I mean, you know, an enemy platoon can encircle a hilltop and, you know, you can really get screwed by that happening. I mean, even 2 squads can easily encircle a hilltop, and then you really have nowhere to go except down. And at that point, depending on where they're at, you might have to move out from cover to engage them. So being on a hilltop is not always the ideal situation. But like I said, it's good for getting a quick recon out on either your AO or your future route that you have planned out, or you need to plan out. All right, so ridges. We will look up top, right above that hilltop is a great definition of a fucking ridge or ridgeline. See where the yellow line went through? That is a great definition of a fucking ridgeline. Now, ridgelines are great for traveling when you're in movement. If you had to get from one side to another, you can use the ridgeline for movement. Now, doing so, you want to be up high on a ridgeline, not down low. You don't want to be down here fucking in movement. One, you're stuck on the side of a fucking hillside. You have nowhere to go, either up or down, left or right, but you're still in the fucking open. At least if you're up here, close to the ridgeline, close enough that you can easily get over, cross over to the ridgeline and have earth defilade between you and the enemy. But not so close that you're fucking sticking up over the fucking ridgeline skylining. So by traveling high up on a ridgeline and using that to get from point A to point B is better than, say, you know, coming down low and coming around. I personally wouldn't come down low, but that is a ridgeline. Obviously, it leaves one flank, depending on which way you're traveling, exposed. So, make sure people are doing their job. All right. Fuck this thing. Apologies if this was a real fucking tablet, it would have been broken by now. There we go. Alright, next one is a saddle. A saddle is a great place to go if you have to cross over all these S's are saddles. So if you're on this green line and you're fucking moving from point A to point B in a route and you get engaged from the south, you can use any one of these saddles to get your guys across um, more efficiently. It's better than going and trying to cross over the highest point of the fucking ridge line. Also, it gives you protection sometimes on the flanks as you're pushing across. You're pushing across in a low area, which means your flanks have raised earth on the left and right. The cover and protection on the flanks is more so if you're trying to cross over a ridge line. So if you're going from, one valley over a ridge line down to another valley, you would use a draw, go over the saddle, back down another draw into a valley. I will show you a draw momentarily, but the saddle is, like I said, used two different ways. Get your men over quickly from contact, or maintaining some sense of security on the flanks as you push from one side of the ridgeline to the other. Next is Valley. That's not really a place I would like to be. So, not all of this, but most of this roadway is in a valley. Obviously, you can see the problem with being in a valley. If you look a little bit further north from that ridge line, once you get into the mountainous parts, you're now surrounded by pretty decent elevation above you. So if you're in a fucking convoy in a fucking valley, keep the stops to a minimum. Obviously, being in a valley means that movement speed will be quicker because you're traveling in a fucking predominantly flattened terrain on some kind of surface that is not rocky but paved or semi-paved. So it affords for faster travel. So that's a plus. You get from point A to point B faster. But the negative is fucking IEDs, fucking ambushes, roadblocks. You got so many places right here that you can set up an elevated position and engage this fucking roadway for like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 500 meters lengthwise. And the furthest people are gonna have to shoot is like 250 meters, 300 meters from over here, way back here. So they're in pretty close, they have an elevated position, and you're fucking stuck out in the middle of nowheres with next to nothing for a hard cover besides your Vic. So if you're in a valley, get to where you need to go quick, fast, in a hurry. Don't fuck off. Next one is a draw spur. Really to draw. Like I said, if you wanted to get from one side of the hillside or ridgeline to another, you can use a draw. This is a pretty noticeable one here. So you can use this draw. You can come up over the saddle, and you can use that draw there to get on the other side, and you're pretty decently protected. You can kind of see how the draws are because you have a line and then you have that spike, and you can see all the low lines in it are just kind of falling. So that is a draw. Not only is it good for getting up and over, but just getting from high to low and low to high ground instead of going on the face of the fucking hillside where you have no defilade. You know, I'd rather go where the white line is and go out here. Because then you have nothing. You're at the highest part of the earth with no cover. At least here you got some kind of defilade. If you go prone or kneel, you'll have something to protect you. Alright, next is a depression. The spot I usually show has a good depression, but a depression is going to be a sunken area with elevated ground totally around it. Now, if that ground is fucking, 10 meters higher all the way around a sunken area, that's a fucking depression. It doesn't have to be a crazy change in elevation to constitute a depression. Obviously, being inside a fucking low area with raised area 360 degrees around it poses a pretty significant threat to you and your fucking brothers on the ground. So if you find yourself in that fucking predicament, look for the quick way out of there. Get out of there. You don't know what the enemy has brewing. If they seen you going in there, they can send a fucking QRF or whatever in that direction to fucking trap you inside that depression and give you a hard time. Now, obviously, you can do it to them if they can do it to you. Next one is going to be a cliff. So, looking back on your maps, we're going to take a little trip north by northwest, up by Thronos Castle. You can see how extremely tight the contour lines are. Plus, they are peppered quite a bit with these black rock symbols. So it's just telling you that this terrain in this area is heavily rocky, and the elevation from here to the water is very sloped. Pursuing somebody or going in there yourself is suicide. Not only that it makes travel slow, but your guy could fucking lose footing and fall in a deep crack where he can't get out. Medic can't go in there, whatever. So it could be a pretty bad deal attempting to go down something this steep that would be categorized as a cliff. Obviously, you can use it to your advantage, or the enemy can, using it as a natural barrier so that the enemy doesn't have anywhere to go. You cut off one route by backing them into a cliff. So they only have 3 directions to go, and that's easier for you to handle. Alright. Before we jump into the micro dagger, does anybody have a question on what I just went over?
Negative, Sergeant.
Negative,
Negative,
Sergeant.
Sergeant.
Alright. Micro dagger. So if we press the hotel key, it'll pop up on your bottom left side of the screen. If you don't already, I suggest getting used to running or fighting with this micro dagger up on your screen. It's very handy. It shows you where everybody in your squad is. Also shows you where your fucking buddy member is, for the most part. So you fucking lose him, and somebody asks where your buddy guy is, your buddy member is, and you say you don't know. That's not a good answer. You can see your entire squad on a fucking microdagger. Alright, so top middle, you have in-game time. Check that when you load in. If it's around 1500, 1600, make sure you're packing MVGs and spread the word. Because even though it's daytime, it'll most likely be night in the middle of the fucking op, and yeah. Bottom left is the fucking bearing in which you are facing. Your body, not your head. You can hit Alt and free look all you want. That doesn't change. It's only when your body fucking moves. Bottom middle is the 6-digit grid ref in which you are in. Your body is physically in. Last but not least is the cardinal direction in which your body is facing. Just like the degrees, the cardinal direction will not change if you fucking free look. Now, next, you can hit Control Hotel and it will bring your microdagger up full size on the screen. At this point, you can kind of interact with the screen. You have a yellow line with a yellow point on the end, and it follows your cursor around. And you might see in the colored window, all the fucking numbers start moving as you fucking move that cursor around. Well, first one is the 6-digit grid ref in which the cursor is in. Not your body, but the cursor. It gives you the elevations difference between you and the cursor in meters. It gives you the distance from you to the end of the cursor in kilometers. And it also gives you the cardinal direction and the degrees in which you have to travel in order to get to that cursor. So it does quite a bit. Yes, Sergeant McCoy.
Thanks, Sergeant. Just to make sure you're understanding why the elevation difference is there, the distance between yourself and that arrow point is as the crow flies, so it doesn't adjust for any difference in elevation if it's something you're trying to engage. That's all I got. Thanks, Sergeant.
All right, thank you. Now, you'll see where it's in kilometers, the distance between you and that arrow. Don't call it out kilometers. You have to fucking translate it into meters. So, where we are to the recruit training classroom black dot, it's 0.10 kilometers. If you translate that into meters, that'll be 100 meters. Pretty straightforward. Obviously, if it's 0.1 whatever, it's 100 and whatever meters. If it's 0.0 whatever, it's you know, anywhere from 0.09, which would be 90 meters, all the way to 0.01, which would be 10 meters. So it would go from 10 meters to 90 meters, and then after that it jumps up to 100 meters and on up. When you see the 1 in front of the decimal point, that is when you actually hit a click. All right. So that is it for the micro dagger. Like I said, if I were you, I would get used to running with it up on your screen. It gives you a quick reference for calling out either a spot report or a contact report. At that point, you have 2 out of the 3 things you need to give out both reports. You have a degree and a description. The only thing you're lacking is a range, a distance. But obviously, giving 2 out of the 3 right away is better than having to pull out your fucking compass, find where they're at, wait for the compass to stop spinning, you know, call out the fucking degree, call out the description, pull out your fucking, you know, put your scope up on them, or pull out your your vectors and get a range. At this point, you know, you can just fucking look at them. You're already looking at them, so you just look down, you know, okay, fucking Sergeant McCoy is fucking 002 degrees fucking north, single individual, you know, fucking 10 meters away. So I didn't have to pull out my compass to do any of that. You just use your fucking micro dagger. It's a godsend. It's a great tool to have. You had a comment, Sergeant McCoy?
Yes, thank you, Sergeant. One last neat little trick. As far as keeping track of your squad mates with it, if you have it up on your screen by just hitting hotel, like on the side, if you hold left shift and left control and hit page up and page down, you can zoom in and zoom out the scale of that map, which is also good for route planning, or if you're moving from, say, RP to RP and you want to make sure you're on track, you can zoom out a little more to make sure you have them both in view and zoom it in as you get in a more tactical situation. That's all I got. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. Stop talking there. Any questions on your micro daggers, gentlemen?
Negative, Sergeant.
Negative, sir.
Negative, Sergeant.
Alrighty. Good shit. All right, y'all can stand up. Get out of seat. Scroll wheel. All right. Private O'Halloran, have you had the chance of being a team lead yet?
Roger, Sergeant.
You have?
Yes, Sergeant.
All right. Private Mitchell, have you?
Negative, Sergeant.
All right. You are going to be Alpha for today. Private O'Halloran and Private Schultz will be with you. You're going to be Alpha. Private O'Halloran, you will be an AR. Private Schultz, get your Grenadier loadout. I want you to get into a pre-combat formation and do pre-combat check for me in front of the flags by the loadout. So,
Roger, Sergeant.
make it happen.
Sergeant Smith,
Mm-hmm.
did you get my last message?
Oh, yep.
Yeah, so the CQB works, and then the flag there, the vehicle ID works. And then the flag at the vehicle ID says vehicle ID again, but takes you back.
Need your
to
team leaders loadout.
Yep, that was my intention.
Okay, good shit. Well, you intended correctly.
Hey, Sergeant McCoy.
What's up, Private?
Do you know the hotkey for the radio again?
Select Control Papa for your short range. That's the one you're looking for, right?
Appreciate it, Sergeant. Yes.
Yep, no problem.
There you go. Follow up on fucking your team lead. Do all your checking and shit. Once you get knelt down, get up behind him. Nope, 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 nope. There you go. Alright, Alpha, take the initiative once you get your radio set.
Private O'Halloran, this is Alpha. Radio check, frequency 100.1.
Alpha, this is Private O'Halloran. I'm reading you Lima Charlie on frequency 100.1 over.
Copy, out.
You, this is me. Don't fucking get lax on the very end.
Private O'Halloran, this is Alpha. Copy, out. Private Schultz, this is Alpha. Radio check, frequency 1001. Over.
Alpha, this is Private Schultz. I'm reading you Lima Charlie on frequency 100.1. Over.
Private Schultz, this is Alpha. Solid copy, out.
Alright, you don't need a solid copy, but good. Alright. So, what's the next thing you want to do, Alpha?
Not sure, Sergeant.
Alright. You want to have continuity of leadership, so you want to...
Yes, name my
Assign.
2IC.
Yep.
Private O'Halloran, you'll be 2IC.
Now, can you tell me why you do not want Private O'Halloran to be a 2IC?
Yeah, I didn't check his classification.
Yes, Sergeant.
Yes, Sergeant.
Alright, so... Now, what
Right.
about... Yep. So, give me the
Right,
answer. Why don't you want him to be a 2IC? Third, if you don't know.
I'm,
just-
sorry, Sergeant. He would be my battle buddy.
Correct. Excellent. Excellent. Alright. Continue.
Private Schultz, you'll be 2IC.
Roger that, Alpha.
Next thing would be buddy
Sorry.
teams, but yep, did it.
Sergeant, how do I need to do a radio check with my 2IC on SquadNet?
Negative. He really doesn't have to do a radio check if he wants to with actual. That wouldn't be a bad thing, but if anything, he doesn't. You know, when you go down and he calls up and steps up to 2IC, that's basically his radio check. Now, you did forget one radio check.
I need to do a squad check. I need to do a radio check over SquadNet with you.
Correct.
Thank you, Sergeant. What is the PTT for squad for this additional channel?
Tango.
Okay. Apparently that's not working, Sarge.
Sergeant, for me, last Thursday, it was 2 on the number pad.
Shouldn't be.
Number pad is what is used to
Changes.
quick change your channel.
Hey, Mitchell, do you have it set to alternate?
Yep.
Nothing with my Tango shift control or alternate fires off the alternate additional channel.
Do you have C2 changed into A2?
Stand by, I'll double check right now.
There you go.
Actual, this is Alpha, radio check, frequency 100. Out.
You sure about that?
Pretty short radio check. And one-sided.
Yeah, it felt like a really one-sided conversation there, Alpha.
I apologize, Sarge, I'm missing it.
You do exactly what you did with your team, do it with me. Except for calling me by my last name, just call me Actual, you Alpha, and did the exact same radio check.
Actual, this is Alpha, radio check, frequency 1001.
Negative, just 100.
Actual, this is Alpha, radio check, frequency 100.
And
Out.
no, the other O.
Over.
Alpha, this is Actual. I have you Lima Charlie on frequency 100 over.
Actual, this is Alpha, copy. Out.
There you go. All right.
Thanks.
So, you did your 2IC battle buddies. Obviously, that's kind of preset unless something is done different in a squad. You did your comms checks. You just want to make sure everybody has what they need. Make sure you and Private Schultz has an extra 100-round belt for the AR. And once everybody in your fire team is fucking good to go, you'll call up to me and let your squad leader know that so-and-so fire team is, you can say ready to go, green, whatever you want to say to get your point across that you're ready to go. So,
Sergeant.
Yep.
Just to clarify, in this case, O'Halloran and Schultz would both need an extra box of 100-round belt.
No, yourself and Private Schultz should have an extra 100-round box for Private O'Halloran. So on top of the shit he carries, each other person in the fire team should be carrying an extra box of ammunition for the AR.
That would be the 5.56 mixed 100-round pouch.
That would be it.
Thanks, Sarge.
All right, communicate with them. Let me know when y'all finish.
Okay, you guys got the O'Halloran, you got the 100-round pouch?
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope you got that.
Should have
Nah,
6 of them fucking things.
Yeah,
Right.
okay, I'm sorry.
Right.
Schultz, I got you guys confused. Apologies. Schultz, you got it?
Roger, Alpha.
Thank you kindly. Actual, this is Alpha. We're ready to roll.
Alpha, actual, good copy in your last, out. Alright, so I'll echo what I'm sure we said before, but it needs to happen fairly quick. Get your kit out, get in your pre-combat formation, do your radio, change the color, do a quick look through your inventory, make sure you got what you need. You might need to change something up. You know, if you're doing a heavy mount situation, you might want, one less smoke and one extra frag or extra fucking stun for breaching and clearing. So this is the time to look at that situation and get it done, because you in the middle of the fucking combat, you're like, damn, that one extra fucking flash would have really came in handy, or frag, so instead of just farting around and goofing off, doing this, kind of going over the fucking op is important. Yes, question, O'Halloran.
Thank you, Sergeant. So, are we allowed to take the initiative on changing our inventory, or are we told by like squad leader or team leaders what our inventory should be?
All right, so right now in OSUT, no, you can't touch it. When you get billeted, yes, you'll have a certain loadout that they would want you to, but if it calls for it, I don't see why you couldn't edit your loadout to give you the best possibility of fucking succeeding. So I mean, that's where MetTC comes into factors. Now every squad leader is different. If I was your squad leader, I would say no, don't go overboard, don't go out of SOP, which is standard operating procedures, but do what you need to do to fucking come home.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, thank you. Who had the question or comment?
I have a comment, sir. I don't think we selected a team color, and if we did, I did not hear it.
It's always going to be red, Alpha, blue, Bravo, yellow, Charlie, green, Delta.
Roger. I joined Alpha, and it did not connect me with anybody.
You should all be in the same group already. Sergeant McCoy, you had a comment?
Oh yeah, just to kind of add to what Sergeant Margiotta was saying, thank you, Sergeant, about kind of like optimizing loadouts for MedTC stuff. So in my situation as a fire team leader of a rifle squad, if I know we're doing a lot of CQB, door kicking and shit, I will tell my team to reconfigure their throwables, maybe bring a couple less, like one less frag, swap that out for extra flash, you know, shit like that. Just pretty standard, that's mission dependent based on whatever the op lord is. But that's pretty much it, Sergeant. Thank you.
Thank you. The reason why you don't see anybody is because you left their group. Private Schultz, or you're not on their group. Look at Private O'Halloran's ass, go to Ace Interact on them with interactions, and go to join group S3 OSUT 1, and you'll see that they're red. There you go. Alright. Yep, make sure you go back red since you're white now. Alright, so that's enough on pre-combat checks. Key is get them done quick. Faster you can do them, the faster we can get out there and kick some ass.
Well, speaking of equipment checks, Sergeant.
Oh yeah, you wanna let them know what a certain person is missing?
Yep, Alpha. What are you missing from your equipment?
Let's just tell him what he's missing. I don't want to waste any time.
Alright, yeah, you're missing your iPro, buddy. Make sure you have that.
Alright, well we need to get a teleport to the vehicle identification.
We'll just take him to the what's working right now.
The CQB is working, Sergeant, and the flag to vehicle ID from there is working as well.
Yep. So take the blue one. Come over here. Blue flag. Everyone should see vehicle ID. Look at the blue flag. Do we see it or not? All right.
It doesn't work. That's
Go
why I
to
said we need
CQB
teleport.
course over here on the white flag.
Sergeant Smith inside here.
All right, come over here. We're gonna go take the not the vehicle ID, taking the vehicle something. I forgot the name of it for you.
It's a vehicle training facility on the far right flag.
Go to the green flag. You see vehicle training facility. Go ahead and take that.
There we go. Alright, gentlemen, fucking follow me.
I'm stuck. I'm stuck as well.
Just go prone and crawl out.
Alright. So the vehicle here that I'm pointing at, and the vehicle here, they are BTRs. If you have a difficult time distinguishing the name between this Vic and the one that is behind us over here, think big tires, BT, big tires, BTR. Alright, so that's BTR, this is a BTR. This is a BTR Alpha. It is equipped with autocannon. The fucking trifecta of fucking shit. Fucking airframes, us, our Vics, buildings are all compromised by that fucking piece of shit over there. So, obviously, we teach you to fucking engage the greatest threat first. So, out of this BTR and that BTR, the autocannon is the greatest threat. So, you see that, engage that, take that out first. Obviously, the greatest threat will escalate as we start moving down the line. Now, BTRs can pack a small crew and a small bail dismount team. They are amphibious. They come in different looks, but mostly it's this look, but different weapon platforms. The brown boxes you see are reactive armor, crude, but fucking they work. You can engage this Vic with 40 mic HEDPs. Then, if you need to, the Law, and if you really need to, the AT4. So if this Vic stops and you can put, or your Grenadiers can put out fucking 4 40 mics, maybe 5, right on target, it'll cook this off. If it's a really big threat and you need to hit it with the Law, do so. Last but not least, the AT4. You want to save your AT4 for a higher threat like a BMP. So it's just, utilizing what you have, but you always got to think down the line. So BTR, Alpha, autocannon, you can't hide from it. You think you're behind hard cover like that fucking concrete barrier over by Sergeant Smith. All he has to do is shoot over, drop around behind it, next to it. The fucking round frags, high explosive, and fucking will kill you quick. Private Mitchell, question.
Any weak points in the armor, Sergeant?
Yes, obviously top is the weakest turret. Head on after you hit it in the glass. I mean, it's not metal. It's ballistic glass still. So, the rear. But when you're in that situation, beggars can't be choosers. You fucking hit it the way you can. You don't go fucking out your way to fucking climb a building to get a fucking top-down shot on it while it's fucking laying waste to 2 other squads. You fucking kill it where you can. Especially if you're that close with it, chances are it will fucking either go catastrophic or at the very least go non-usable. It'll stop and just die at that point. Sergeant McCoy.
Thanks, Sergeant. Really, the only spot that you want to avoid engaging it is direct front. You see how the nose is sloped. So if that eliminates your effective targeting area by like half if you're engaging it from the front. So that's pretty much it. Anywhere else is pretty effective. Thanks, Sergeant.
Yep, thank you. Yeah, I mean, obviously you don't want to hit it there. If you're a good shot, fucking aim for the turret and hit somewheres in the glass of the turret and try to disable the turret. But yeah, don't fucking wait. Take the shot. Yes, Private O'Halloran.
Thank you, Sergeant. So if you're in a situation where you're with like the AR, for instance, is it worth it trying to shoot out the tires or just take cover?
Nope. Take cover. It's not worth it. He'll fucking expend a fucking belt before the one tire gets blown out. So it's fucking crazy shit. So, yep, don't waste it. The only MG that really can have any effect on it is the 240 Bravo with the 993 ammo, which is armor piercing. And they can shoot through the hull and hit the occupants. But that's the only, besides the 50, but we don't get that too often. So the only really handheld weapon platform is the 240 Bravo that can do anything. So you're an AR, you see that, just stay down. You can't do anything. Wait for it to get hit and have dismounts.
Roger, thank you, Sergeant.
Yep.
Thank you, Sergeant.
So that's moving on from BTRs. Hit it with your fucking 40 mics first. Law, then AT4. If you're a fucking Grenadier, be on your toes if they hit it with the Law and it doesn't go catastrophic, but it's fucking sitting there because, it fucked the engine up. Fucking lob a couple of 40 mics on it and make it cook off. Always be proactive. All right, so this is a scout vehicle. It's a BRDM. It is, like I said, primary for scouting. For the enemy, it's quick, it's fairly quiet compared to the other armored vehicles. So just be on the lookout for this. It's basically the same sequence of engagement as the BTR. Start with your 40 mics, law. Really shouldn't use your AT4 on this. This is pretty small potatoes, but if you have to, you have to. If it's people getting slaughtered because they're out in the open and that fucking MG on top is fucking chopping them down. I mean, obviously expend that instead of letting them get chopped down. That is BRDO. Scout vehicle. Alright, so this next lineup here, you have 2 here, and then you have 2 more down there. I'm going to skip once we go down there. I'll just kind of point out some things. But BMPs and whole are a pretty dangerous item for us. They come in multiple variants. As obviously you can see, this has got a large caliber main gun. This has an autocannon. They're both equipped with fucking a rocket pod on top. They're heavier armored hull, tracked wheels, smaller profile or thinner profile. So they can take a little bit more of a beating, and they usually carry more advanced, heavier weaponry. So if you see a BMP compared to a BTR, the BMP is now up above as in the priority of targets. So like I said, this is a larger main gun, like a tank round, and this is an autocannon variant. Obviously the front is not the best place to hit it head on because you got such a low profile and a high slope. So either back sides or top is what you want to aim for. Obviously the sides are kind of a hit and miss because yes, it is lined with reactive armor on the side, so it could possibly defeat your AT round without cooking it off. But it's a fucking